All right. Well, I used to try to have these organized, and then yesterday I just got hit with, let me just put it this way. I'm going to try to stop eating red meat. It's not good. Okay. Okay. Let's do it like we normally do with Streams In. I'm going to read a brief quote here. I'm going to read A Good Comrade, Janos Kadar, Communism in Hungary. So for those that don't know, Janos Kadar is the guy that took over Hungary after the 1956 revolution, with Imre Nagy, of course, getting killed. And I'm trying to think. But anyway, basically he took over afterwards and lasted until his death in 1989. And on his deathbed, he allegedly converted to Catholicism. So putting it into context, yeah. What's going on, Temujin? What's going on, Will DeMarco? Let's go ahead and get into this quote right quick here. So this is going to be about a biography of Janos Kadar, just to say. So the man who became known as Janos Kadar, who was to lead Hungary, was born Janos Cermenek in Fiume, now Rijeka, Croatia. Croatia, on 26 May 1912. His mother was half Slovak, and his father's family name was German. The most difficult fate is bearable if one is loved, was a lesson that he was to draw from his childhood. Such love was not found easily. He was illegitimate, and for many years did not know his father's identity. His mother was initially preoccupied with the daily struggle for survival, and it was with a foster family that Janos Cermenek first found a temporary security. Janos' mother, Borbala Cermenek, the family's name was sometimes spelled Cermenik or Zermanek, had been born in 1884 in the Slovak village of Orgiala, now Starodala, the daughter of a landless Slovak laborer and a Hungarian mother. It is probably the lack of work opportunities that led her to leave the village around the summer of 1910. It seems that by spring 1911, she was some 400 kilometers away, working as a chambermaid in a small hotel in the Adriatic spa resort of Abazia, now Opatija. Borbala, an ill-starred woman, in her son's words, had had only 2 years of elementary schooling and was to a greater or lesser degree illiterate. Kadar's official biographer, Laszlo Gyurko, drawing on conversations with his subject, described her as an unstable, quick to lose her temper, and quick to become sentimental. She sought to live by the precepts of her peasant upbringing and Catholic faith. But poverty and the instability of her relationships vitiated her attempts to gain a degree of control over her life. Yet there was another, stronger side of her. She was bold enough to seek work far from her native village, and she was to be ambitious. We are reading about, let me go ahead and type it in the chat. A Good Comrade. It is a book by it's a book about Janos Kadar. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and show my face. Let me see if I can do that right quick here. I'm going to show the... okay, we'll go ahead and do it for this time. Let me see here. Can I do that? Trying to figure it out now. Okay. Well, nonetheless, but basically it's about Janos Kadar. For those that want to know, Janos Kadar was the guy that took over after the 1956 Hungarian Revolution. I'm trying to think here. Who was the guy before Janos Kadar? I used to know, and then as my mind works. He was a guy that... trying to think. Preceded by Imre Nagy. Okay. Matyas Rákosi. There you go. Matyas Rákosi. For those that want to know. Matyas Rákosi. Yeah, Belikun. Are you Jewish? No. No. Yeah. Okay. I did want to continue this on here. I'll try to make it quick. Like I said, this is only about 2.5 pages I'm going to read. Is there any real difference between market socialism of Yugoslavia and Chinese socialism? Sev says there is not. I don't care about Sev, though. I don't care about Sev. Sev is boring. He got BTFO'd off Twitter at least several times. You know, mostly because they dab on him so hard. But I think that he's just... I don't really care what he says, yeah. You know, I really don't care about people like Sev K. You're talking about Sev K, right? You're talking about the Welsh dude. I think that Sev, you know, he promotes this kind of humanism type thing, you know. And with people like Sev, and also I believe his brother, quote unquote, converted to Taoism and made such a big thing about it, you know, and admitted that it was kind of adventurous, but it's like, you know, he claimed to be, he stopped talking to me after I talked to him several times. Yeah. And because Sev K he's very much up his own. Yeah. And I got BTFO'd him. Yeah. And I've got, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I say the same thing. I mean, people like Sev, they're not really worth talking about, are they? You don't want, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and just let that go. But basically it was going to talk about his life a little bit. It is very interesting, but I'll go ahead and, do I watch Pierre Trudeau? I've watched Pierre Trudeau a little bit. Yeah. I'm starting to get into him a little bit more. I know that he puts out videos sporadically, this and that. But yeah, he seems like an all right guy in general. Okay, but I guess we'll go ahead and I do have some videos in the docket that we're going to review. So I guess we'll just cut into it, shall we? Let's go ahead and get into it. But yeah, I think that, yeah, Sev K, if we're talking about him, I mean, is he even worth talking about? I think I've already given him more than enough leverage just talking about him right now. I think in general, he, you know, I mean, he does stutter quite a bit, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not gonna make fun of a man for that. That's not appropriate. But you have a Discord. We should talk later. I do, but I just go on Discord to steal memes. But yeah, I forget what my ad is offhand. Anyway, let's go ahead and cut to the chase here. I want to show y'all this video first. It's great to see these sorts of videos still being on YouTube. I'll go ahead and show y'all this right quick. Here we go. Okay, let's go ahead and do this right quick. I love seeing this. This is great stuff. And I don't know if this is Glazno or not, or one of his alts, but this is still pretty based, even I have to say. So, Anti-Glasses Gang Death Squad, you should follow him. You know what, I'm going to go ahead and put his link in. Let me go ahead and drop that in. There we go. It's just great to see videos like this. It's a breath of fresh air, really. Okay, here we go. Let's do it.
Sorry, I'm white. Sorry, I'm male. Sorry, I'm white. I'm sorry, I'm male. Why am I a monster?
I love videos like this, yeah. And Glassman put great video, yeah. I love this. Okay. Oh, it isn't him? Oh, that's a shame. I was like, dang gum. But he's definitely he's part of the RiceTube family, though, right? He's part of the RiceTube family. He's part of Anti-Vosh Action and all that. If so, that's all I need to know. As long as he's RiceTube and as long as he's with Anti-Vosh Action, then I'm good with that. I saw he did a little clip of what's his name too. So shout out to him. Let's go ahead and let's do this. I love seeing videos like this. I do. It's such a bop. It is. It's a great bop. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and drop the link in. There we go. That's the link to the video. I love this. I love the autism. I love it. I will always track down videos like this. You gotta love it, yeah. Oh. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I don't know who made it either. I have no idea. I know that I've seen it several times, but I still get a kick out of it. It's still great. Okay. I'll let this vibe. Just want to vibe off it for a minute. Oh boy. Oh, that's lovely. I love it. I do. Oh, that's great. That's great. I love videos like I still do. I'll admit, like I said, that's a great bop. I don't care what you say. It's a great bop, regardless. You know. Like I say, the autism done just right. The tism done just right. Mwah. Oh, it's brilliant. That's brilliant. Okay. Oh, let me see what we got here. Oh, sorry. I'm looking at the wrong thing. Let me look at the playlists here right quick. Okay. So the stream videos. Let's see what we got here. We may not go through every single one of these, but we'll go through enough of them. Let me see what we got here. What's up first? Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Have you seen the channel called Superpower Broadcasting? The guy's an unironic neocon. Oh, boy. All right. Egan Army Ball, I don't think is in the chat, but he did recommend me to watch this National Reformation Party, which are basically just legitimate fascists. We'll watch a little bit of this. I'm not going to watch every single minute of it. We'll go ahead and take a look at it. All right? How about that?
Race is a social construct having no biological basis. Our use of the word describes an idea that a people of a nation can attain unity through the endurance of hardship, the pursuit of shared ambition, and a state that represents the collective will of spiritual kinship. Race, then, is a process. It's not an object. These are the words of our Decalogue. Principle 2.
Says the South is bad.
Under the
A
philosophy
lot of reactionaries hate the South because of poverty. Yeah.
Have you ever wondered how America is going to overcome its racial issues?
Okay. This is... I already feel like going to sleep. It's barely been a minute. And I feel it already. I'm already going to go to sleep. All right. We're not going to watch that. I'm sorry. I was going to for you, Unit Arm Ball, but it's too boring. I'm sorry. This just hit me. I need something a little more engaging. I'm sorry. Okay. Let's go ahead and go to our favorite anarchist with heavy quotes, Bo the Fifth Column, aka Justin King. Let's hit it. Let's hear what he has to say.
Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So today, we're going to talk about how we got here.
Oh, you didn't miss much, Red Dundonian. We showed a Nos Bowl. Actually, we showed White Juche video. That's always fun. And we read a little bit of A Good Comrade by Janos Kadar. And we're going to be talking about good old Bo the Fifth Column next. And we'll kind of go from there. How about that? Okay, let's do it.
How we got in this giant mess with everybody, well, where they are.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to take a look back. We're going to summarize. We're going to recap. Sometimes it is incredibly useful to look back and see where you've been, so you can see where you might be headed, especially if that's not really where you want to go. You can adjust course if you need to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, how did we end up here? I mean, you could say unresponsive government and economic woes, but that's nothing new. That's been true since colonizers first came to this land.
Oh boy, more colonizers. Oh, ooey, yeah. Why do people? Yeah, we already live in anarchy. Reagan dismantled the state since the 80s, and it's been anarchy ever since. Yeah, there's an argument to be made for that. Okay, let's hear a bit more from this guy.
It's always been like that. So, that's not it.
Mm-hmm.
What were the real ingredients? What started it?
Yeah.
A situation that nobody agrees on right now. It's disputed as to what happened. A petty crime, some pig, and an extrajudicial killing. That's how we wound up here. Then what happened?
I love that okay, now he's coming out once again. The fact that he says pig is just to concern himself with the audience. You have to remember is that Justin King has worked with various police forces. Let's not, yeah. Just to put it into perspective.
Petitions, outrage, protest. Protest spun out of control, turned into rioting and looting. A group of people took land and held it.
Yeah, and 2 people ended up dead. And not to mention, once again, a group of people took over land. Yeah, and the city of Seattle gave them barriers. They gave them porta potties. They, pretty much said the cops don't go in, the military doesn't go in. So let's not play this game of, if we're going to bring up Chaz and just try to make it into some, are we actually going to say mud-based Chaz? I mean, I feel like, it's too simplified, yeah.
Spun out of control. A government building got attacked. Then it spun out of control further. A whole bunch of innocents got hurt. Open rebellion lasted a year. Yeah, I'm talking about 1676. Bacon's Rebellion really was over a pig. That was the catalyst anyway.
Ha 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 ha. Oh, it's hilarious. Go ahead.
When people hear about that in the U.S., when it's taught in schools, it's generally framed as the forerunner to the American Revolution. That's American mythology. That is American mythology. It is not American history. Neither Bacon nor the governor had any intention of separating from the king. In fact, both of them framed their arguments in what was best for the king.
Yeah. Not my innocent Torinos. Yeah. The thing is that with Bo the Fifth column is, we're actually talking about Bacon's Rebellion. You know, the thing is, and of course his audience will eat it up. Oh, Bo, you're so funny. Oh, you're going to teach us about history because we're too dumb to study it for ourselves. Oh, boy. Okay, go ahead.
King was not the forerunner to the American Revolution. It's just not really true. But it was the first real rebellion. And an important thing to remember about it is while both Bacon and the governor had people who truly believed in their cause, and for the record, what they were arguing about was pretty horrible, just so you know.
What are they talking about? Yeah. Settled. It was led by Nathaniel Bacon against Governor William Berkeley. Bacon's grievances against Berkeley stemmed from the governor's dismissive policy towards political changes. Okay. Like I say, I don't know everything about history. Yeah. Take part in fur trading with Native Americans. And Cap, it sounds like, yeah. Whereas urged to have been left out of Berkeley's inner circle. Angered at the governor's refusal to allow Bacon to take part in fur trading. The Doge people. No, I'm serious. But, okay. Because honestly, I've never heard about this because Americans, we don't know our own history. We don't know anybody's history. All we know is our talking points. That's all we're really taught in school. Refused to retaliate against the Native Americans. Farmers gathered around. Personal vendetta. Okay. So basically, and what's shaking bacon? Yeah, exactly. If you're a socialist that doesn't want a planned economy, you don't even know what you want. Yeah, exactly. How is Dangism? Okay, well, let's go ahead and So now we see that Justin is performing some revisionism. Okay, here we go.
Well, they both had people who believed in them. At the end of the day,
okay,
nothing changed. Nothing changed.
Yeah, just like now.
In fact, some foreign advisors showed up. They brought some stuff with them.
Yeah.
And all the dust settled, and everything was over with. Neither Bacon nor the governor was in power. The advisors made sure that those who had their hands on the levers of power, that they were loyal to them. And as people rush towards that image, that mythological image of rebellion and what it looks like, that's something really important to keep in mind. Because as a whole bunch of people talk about how much they love this country, and they need to do this because they love this country, understand that the second it starts, every hostile nation on the planet is going to flood this country with weapons. They will keep it going.
Based! I don't care what you say. Based! Let it break apart. Let it. This is pussy talk right here. Absolute fucking pussy talk. I'm sorry to get so angry, but god damn, that's some pussy talk. Hold on. What's that?
You can come out here now.
Okay, well, I'm already set up in here, though. Once again, let me go back a little bit here. Let me go back for a minute. Let's hear what this fool has to say. Hold on.
What it looks like. That's something really important to keep in mind. Because as a whole bunch of people talk about how much they love this country, and they need to...
I don't have some huge love of this country. I don't. I stay here because it's all I know, and I vaguely know about history, but I'm a retarded American like everyone else. I don't love this country, though. I'm used to where I'm at. Get that right in the first place. All right? Now, let's continue. I want to make sure I hear all this point. Here we go.
To do this because they love this country. Understand that the second it starts, every hostile nation on the planet is going to flood this country with weapons. They will keep it going as long.
Based! 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 That's great. That's great. I don't care at this point. I've just finally said, who cares? Let it happen. Complaining about flooding other countries with weapons. Exactly. It is absolute hypocrisy. Absolute hypocrisy. This guy is supposed to be an anarchist, and yet he's like, oh, we don't want to have other countries come in and send weapons. We can make our own weapons, motherfucker. You made a video a long time back. I remember I did a response to it, and that was back when I showed my face, where you were so upset that people were making 3D printed guns out of literally fucking, electrical, not an electrical tape, but like just some metal lying around. Yes, that's what I want. At this point, let the other countries come in. Let them come in. Period. I don't give a fuck. Let it happen. Give me some excitement to the day. Period. Let me get some excitement. Motherfuckers is angry. Motherfuckers is angry out here. And you're gonna talk some pussy shit and be like, oh, this country's gonna get flooded by people with guns. We can create our own fucking guns. This country is already loaded with guns, motherfucker. Motherfucker, this country is filled with guns. And you gonna tell me some pussy shit? I can't believe this shit.
Long as they possibly can to weaken that country you say you love. It will destroy it. The image of the glorious rebellion is myth. It's mythology.
I don't care. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. Because guess what? It may be mythology, but guess what? It's going to make some people tougher. The revolution isn't for my fat ass. And it's not for the old boomer down the street who's going to have his M4. It's not for them. It's for the young folks. It's for the young folks to break away and stop watching fucking TikTok and stop watching fucking bullshit ass K-pop and shit. What the fuck?
Hey.
Sorry. And stop watching K-pop and all this other shit. Stop doing that and go out there and learn to be a leader. Learn to be an actual leader. Back up. On the way. Come on. It's for the kids, baby. It's for the kids. Yep. Is he an ANPAC? ANCAP? Probably. Chinese guns kind of trash. The real question, in which guns? Probably Russian. I'll be honest with you, Russian. Norinco, I'm sure, has some good stuff here and there, but in general, I would say Russia. Russian, yeah. But the United States can make their own fucking weapons. I mean, look at 3D printed guns, the amount of M4s. You think that gunsmiths won't try to do all that, and gun runners and shit? Come on, man. Of course they will. So it's like you can say, oh, America's going to be flooded with guns. Yeah, we do that, It's kind of like, it sounds kind of apropos, doesn't it? Sounds kind of ironic. Sounds like what we deserve. I'd say Russian. Yeah, Russian vassal. China treats their vassals pretty badly. Yeah, absolutely. Pretty much every revolution in the past few centuries was entirely by minority groups taking charge and imposing it on the majority, American, French Revolution, etc. Yeah, that's true. Once again, we see these folks, these pussy-ass dudes like, Justin King, who claim to be anarchists, and yet these are the motherfuckers who are like, oh, revolution's not good. We're gonna try to change things by voting. This is why you can't trust these motherfuckers. Because they want to live in their little pacifistic world. And you know what? You don't get to choose. You don't get to. I don't get to. Nobody gets to. It ain't up to you. So if it's going to be violent, it's going to be violent. And you can say, oh, well, it's the myth of the glorious revolution. Guess what? How was the Soviet Union created? How was present-day China created? How was any country like that created like that? You know? So don't you ever, why does this fool even call himself? Just call yourself a fucking liberal. You know? I can't listen to bullshit like that. Go ahead, idiot.
It's not real life. We might want to think about that.
No.
A certain group of people who are really pushing for it
Based.
really might want to think about that.
No.
Because the odds are it's not going to go the way you think.
Probably not. Who cares?
Because
Who cares?
this stuff doesn't occur in a vacuum.
Yeah, it doesn't. You're absolutely right on that. But guess what? Who cares? I don't want to continue to live the way that I'm living. You know, as much as the books or whatever the case may be that I buy, guess what? That's used to just keep me from acting a damn fool. So guess what? My dude, I don't care. I just don't care. I don't expect it to go my way. All right? I got my own thoughts about it, but guess what? I know it ain't going to fully go my way. That's why I throw a lot of it out. And if it doesn't go my way, so the fuck what? I'll learn to play the game, just as you should, motherfucker. I don't get this. Yeah. Correction, he's not the founder, but his company is at kind of the forefront. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Nobody is going to just sit idly by while a nuclear power, one of the strongest militaries in the world, rips itself apart.
Based. I don't care. The National Guard is pussy right now. Right now. That's what I'm saying. Right now. Yeah. Eventually they may get some real motherfuckers that are going to go in there. But guess what? Just like any other military force, just like any other aspect throughout history, it all depends. Because guess what? The military is not one fucking thing. All right. The military is not I was going to say monopoly, but I can't think of the word offhand. But it's not one entity. It isn't. So some National Guard units may join the rioters. Some National Guard units may be, it depends on how bad it gets, but some National Guard units may be like, yeah, we're with y'all now. Take these M4s, let's start pulling security. Huh? It's the same thing with when active duty, when they get, sent from Korea to come here, guess what? We're going to see how real it gets. And if I die, so what? I don't care. I don't care if I get killed. I don't expect to live. Shit. I don't think I'm going to be some great martyr either. I don't give a fuck. At this point, I'm just like, look, let it the fuck happen. Give me some excitement to my day. I don't care. Let it happen. Yeah, I'm physically a boomer, but spiritually a zoomer. Yeah, that's how I feel. I'm just like, my dude, I don't care. Just let it happen. I'm too old for this shit. Just let it fucking happen. I'm not going to sit around and wait for Bernie to come and give me healthcare. I'm not going to sit around and wait for these the 30 million people going homeless with the wild card politically. Yeah. I'm not going to sit around and wait for Andrew Yang or wait around for any of these motherfuckers to come save us. Wait for, TYT to talk about, oh, we're getting, progressives are winning. I don't care. Because guess what? It ain't helping me. So you might as well make it a nationwide war. Let it fucking happen. I'm telling you, just mask off. Just let it fucking happen. I don't care if it doesn't go my way. I don't give a fuck. Okay. I'm glad I watched that because now I'm gassed up. I feel like I'm gonna be ready to work out for a little bit. I'm gonna work out outside because I can't go to gyms anymore. I'm tired of it. You got to wear the fucking mask, and they got to check your temperature, and they shut down half the fucking machines. Bullshit. Anyway, let's move on to the next one.
They're going to get their fingers in the game.
So what?
Probably not going to get thought.
They'll probably, to be honest with you, China and Russia to a point were probably more fair towards the billionaires, and well, they'll keep some of the billionaires, but the other billionaires, they'll get killed off. So that may be a good thing, but I don't really give a shit. Who cares about, once again, you pussy talking about more revolution and saying, oh, revolution actually isn't that good, y'all. Shut the fuck up. Okay. So we got Ewoks Unhinged. I know he was talking to, Stalin wasn't born in Georgia. Yeah. In case of an investigation by any federal, and I don't know. Okay, yeah, I probably should. Yeah, in case of an investigation by any federal entity or similar, I do not own this group or with the people in it. I do not know how I am here. Probably added by a third party. I do not support any actions members of the group. That's fair. That's fair. Imagine if Kid Rock became Mao like the Confederacy. Okay, I'm sorry. Screw it. I went mask off for a little bit. Okay, let's get into this next video here from Ewoks Unhinged. He's had Jason Unruh on, this and that. Let's get into it.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Want to do a quick video this morning. I had a question somebody asked about the stream we did last week.
Okay, Canadian. Okay, Canuck. All right, go ahead. Let's go ahead and turn this off. Bloop. Bloop.
About Kenosha, and we talked about the settler mentality, and somebody asked, like, I think it was a pretty fair question.
Settler mentality. Okay.
What do I mean what do we mean when we're saying settler? And like I said, it's a mentality, so it's not a ethnicity or European descent or what have you. That's not actually what
he says. Non-European descent. It has nothing to do with that. And then he completely undoes his point with stuff coming up. Let's listen to this.
I mean by settler, it's a mentality. So obviously
it's a mentality. Go ahead.
The settlers in North America came from different parts of Europe and stuff to work on a colonial project.
So he says Europeans came to work on the colonial project. So it's not just a mindset then, is it?
So that being said, the key part I would say would not really.
Is he white? He sounds like it. Yeah, he sounds like it because it's not. Yeah, what did your comment on the video say? Well, my comment said, okay, he was talking about, he's talking about, of course, since it's settlers, he talks about Jay Sakai. And my comment says basically, Jay Sakai said white labor aristocracy, not white working class. And that is very specific. That's what he said. I remember vaguely reading Settlers and, Jay Sakai writing, white labor aristocracy, and that, that white folks are not part of the proletariat. There's a labor aristocracy. That's what he was talking about at the time. And yeah, that's basically what my comment says. But yeah, Yakubite. Yeah, Europeans came from Patmos. Exactly. Yeah, I hate white people who will not give white homeless any gives. Get out. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Be their European descent, but rather working on a colonial project. So what I'm referring to settler in the context of today is people who are actively contributing to and believing in the colonial project still in North America. So for example, people of European descent who
he said it's a mind state, and then he says people of European descent. Bruh, they just say bruh. This is why, yeah. Oh, he's also half Indian? Holy shit. Okay, there you go. This is absolutely ridiculous right here. It's like, oh, well, it's a mind state. Oh, you could be. See, what he could have said is, if he said it was a mind state, he could have said is, oh, well, you can be Indian and have a colonial mind state, or you can be black and have a colonial mind state. But the thing, yeah, you can hear his jaw opening completely each syllable. Yeah, exactly. I don't get this type of shit. I really don't get it. When you say, oh, well, Well, it's not. It's a mind state. And then, of course, he could have done that, but no. Instead, he just continues to say, more white Europeans." Just so fucking. I can't get this shit.
Who
I really
think
don't understand.
Colonial Project is messed up, who are doing activism and actively working on decolonization and working against colonialism, are not settlers. So being European does not, like, of European descent, does not make you a settler in the present day if you're actively against the colonial project. That's what I wanted to talk about. I think people, or some people who maybe when they hear the word settler, they're obviously thinking of Jay Sakai's book, Settlers and the Myth of the White Proletariat. I've read a good chunk of that book, and I've read the one that I thought was actually pretty interesting was Jay Sakai's interview when race burns class, which I think it was interviewed around 2000. You could find it online. I read that. I thought that was pretty interesting. It's not saying that there can't be class unity, but Sakai spoke about the impediments to class unity and how the ruling class uses the kind of in-group concept of quote-unquote whiteness or what have you to kind of like prevent quote-unquote white working class people from having class solidarity with other working class folks, and how that really plays into the extremely racialized history of the United States of America. Keep in mind too that, for example, at the time when Sakai was writing, he was an activist in the 70s, right? So it was clearly like
He wrote Settlers in 1985. Can we get that cleared up? I was born in 1985. So I can speak to it a little bit, but let's see here. Let me just double check here, just for the record. Jay Sakai, Settlers PDF. Let me see here. Okay, I'll go ahead and look at this. Read settlers.org. Okay, yeah, the true history of the white nation, the mythology of the white proletariat, $8.95. Holy shit. Who would waste that much money? Okay. Of course, it's okay. Come on. New African Brother. Okay, yeah, let me see here. Yeah. Oh, 1989. Okay. So 1989, this came out. I think, but he originally wrote the book, I want to say, in 1985, though. So, yeah. Class unity except fuck whitey. Yeah, why not? Yeah. I legit think the South is socialist culturally still, even though it elects ANCAP governments. Fair enough. Okay.
It wasn't like it was pretty close to back when segregation was happening, like hardcore segregation. He was probably dealing with a lot of prejudice that was impacting the left-wing movement in America. And we do see there is still some prejudice, even in some left-wing circles today. But today is a lot, I would say, especially for the left, probably there's a lot better for people desiring class solidarity. For the whole white proletariat thing, I wanted to say that especially for working class people, for white working class people right now, I would say that their quote unquote white privilege is starting to become razor thin as their living conditions with the opioid crisis, the deindustrialization, basically the white aristocracy does not need them. The whole coalition of quote unquote whiteness, in my opinion, is breaking down. It's a better time than ever to achieve class solidarity.
No, it really isn't. I'll tell you why it isn't. Yeah. You were born in 85. I thought you were younger for some reason. You get memes and stuff. Yeah. It's all good. Yeah. It's all good. So does it amount to anything actually? Yeah. Everything. Yeah. I don't think, like I said, I mean, this fool, the thing is, number one, he's in Canada. You know, why do Canadians think that they can just speak for everybody and think that, or speak for the United States and be like, oh, because we're right next to you, we know about what you're doing. You know what? Whatever happens in the United States, guess what? It will be your problem. But right now, it's none of your fucking business. But, you know, that's my take. You know, you can, like I said, I'm very catty right now. I just want to, yeah. Drinking from separate water fountains is hardcore, ignoring the fact that for most human history, if the enemy occupied you, then it would, you would be lucky. Yeah, it's just absolutely ridiculous. A lot of the left still hates whites based on pathology. Yeah, it's just ridiculous. You know, Are you actually defending segregation? No, what I'm saying is that this guy thinks that there's going to be some mythical solidarity. And guess what? That ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen. Because guess what? As much as you want to try to pretend, is whites and blacks have a separate identity. And black folks are always going to be cautious of hanging around whites. They're always going to be somewhat cautious. All right? And there is a point to that, you know? There is a point to that. You know? Now, let's just be fair about it. Yeah, not defending it, but it's improvement compared to the past. And now it is gone in most of the Western world, so I don't know why the guy in the video was whining about. Yeah, exactly. I mean, the thing is yeah, it'd be nice to say, oh, well, let's all get along and, you know, let's rise up and fight capitalism. But the thing is, though, this is why I don't agree with class consciousness, is because it's temporary. Those problems are still going to exist. You know, they're going to say, hey, hey, white man, why do you still have, you know, you still have better stuff than me? You know, and you can say, oh, you can talk about mud white supremacy, and you can talk about mud white labor aristocracy. You can talk about that all day. But it's like, hey, cracker, why do you still have all this land? Or why do you still have, you know, all these good ass books and everything over me, cracker? And to me, the socialism that exists today has no answer for that. They don't. They don't. It's just basically, well, we need to get along, period. That's it. That doesn't make any sense to me. It would be better for it to be temporary and overthrow the government order than do nothing. Yeah. Well, I mean, if you want to say that, yeah. I mean, I can still have the same belief where, yeah, it is temporary. You know, but yeah, that's all class consciousness is. Yeah, overthrow everything, but then the tensions are going to come out. You know, let it be known. You know, it's the same type of thing even in Greece, where, you know, people, you know, attempted to work with the Greek Communist Party for a bit of time. And then, of course, once it ended, once World War II ended, and Germans were out and the fascists were out, then what happened was that the Greek communists decided to fight the Anglos, which, hey, kind of based, really, but I think that they, you know, it was a whole different type of thing, but had to put into, yeah, didn't have racism. There's no immigration, so racism was not the problem in the first place. No mass immigration, no, yeah. Paul Robeson. Even in social, yeah, the thing is, yeah, I mean, Paul Robeson ignored the fact that the Jewish Anti-Fascist League was wiped out after the Second World War. Because even they realized, like, hey, why is it that you know, is it Stalin and a lot of the folks in the Soviet Union were, you know, is it Paul Robeson was good friends with some members of the Jewish Anti-Fascist League. The Jewish Anti-Fascist League was wiped out, and they started to write, when they started to write their books and write their memories of the Second World War about the Great Patriotic War, they were talking a little bit too much about Jews, more specifically, or about redacted. I'm sorry. They were talking about redacted. And they didn't talk about the rest of the Soviet people that were injured. You know, this has to be remembered, is that the Soviets were like, hey, it wasn't just redacted that got killed. It wasn't just them. It was other people as well. And that's the problem that they had. That was the basic problem that they had with the Jewish Anti-Fascist League, because they didn't want, you know, because they showed their biases. And they said, well, let's talk about redacted because we are redacted. You know, yeah, there actually was, during the Vietnam War, you had refugee crisis from Vietnam, and they were really badly received. An example is Czechoslovakia had riots against them. Exactly. Same thing with China. China allowed African students in. And guess what? The Chinese were like, hey, you don't mess with our women. Don't mess with our women. You know? So, yeah. What's going on, Union Army Ball? What's going on? But, yeah. Many Ukrainians became national communists because they realized that, yeah. Like I say, I mean, it's a complicated situation. But to say simply that, oh, well, let's talk about Paul Robeson. Well, Paul Robeson was a little wide-eyed and starry-eyed to what was going on. Now, ultimately, the Soviet Union, I think, was correct because ultimately they realized the Jewish Anti-Fascist League had their biases, and they didn't want to include everyone else that was that had died in the Soviet Union. All right. Anyway, let's go ahead and continue on here.
Because as everybody's kind of living standards just decreases. So I'm not like, if somebody thinks that I'm directly citing Sakai's beliefs about the white working class can never be revolutionary in America, that's not what I'm saying. I don't agree. But like I said, the time Sakai was writing in was a few decades ago, or 3 or 4 decades ago, different than now, right? A bit different now. Things change, History's in motion, and you need to keep tabs of that. So, and also too, I want to say that just because I'm using the word settler when I'm describing stuff in America, that is not a direct reference to Sakai's book. It's something he talked about. It's something that I'm talking about right now, but it's not explicit to his thought. It's not a term that he created. That term exists.
Why don't you just say white folks? Just be honest and say white folks. Why not just say crackers, honkies, old fays, whatever, the pink ones, the Yakubians. Just say white folks. Just be honest and say that. Don't try to cover it up and use, weasel words like settlers. Just say white folks. Just say crackers. Don't try to front. That's my attitude. You know what I mean? I don't get that. Just be honest. Yeah, I don't like Jim Crow laws and having separate water fountains. I prefer self-seeker. Okay. All right.
Existed before the book was written. That, role in North America existed long before the book was written. It would be like the equivalent of somebody writing a book on, slavery or serfdom. Those institutions existed in human society before. The first time somebody wrote a book from a more left-wing or social justice perspective on it. You know what I'm saying? So Sakai wasn't the first person to coin the term settler. He just talked about the impediments in the left-wing movement. That's not really what I'm talking about. I'm talking about more just the settler mentality today amongst definitely Trump supporters. And what I said about the whole white lash with Trump supporters is there's this feeling that the social contract, there's this huge hatred for the elites, which is justified. But the reason the hatred is there currently is because of this breakdown of this understanding of this false understanding of racial, quote unquote, racial solidarity and quote unquote whiteness with the aristocracy that they once had that they no longer have. And, like I said, that quote unquote white privilege for these poor white areas, it's going razor thin to a point where it's becoming way, way easier to convince these regions that, hey, class solidarity, screw this, quote unquote whiteness thing. Let's just ally on class. Let's not ally, sorry. Let's solidify on class. So that was my whole point. The whole settler thing is people who are actively contributing to the colonial project, which is just totally against one's self-interest at this point, especially. I mean, come on. So that's where I'm coming at from the settler thing. It's not saying people can't be revolutionary. It's not saying that, especially it's not saying all people with Euro descent. That's not what I'm saying. It's people contributing to the colonial project. Are they doing that today? There definitely are people. There are definitely people that support colonization. There's also people that support decolonization. There's also people that are disgusted with the current system. And that's what I'm...
Ugh, okay. So he's a CivNet. Yeah, exactly. This sounds like, yeah. This just sounds like ridiculousness, doesn't it? Yeah, and let's change the way we treat each other, yeah. Oh, he's doing one with Caleb Maupin. Oh, really? Oh, shit. Okay. I may watch that then. Yeah, it's ironic that he says, oh, there's no revolutionary potential in the white working class. I never said that. And yet, he talks with Jason Unruh, who has said something similar. So, yeah, I don't really get it. Yeah.
I mean, by settler being a mentality. Somebody can opt in, somebody can opt out. This stuff is learned, and this stuff can be unlearned. As always, have a great day. May the force be with us all.
Gay. When you
What
bring
up?
up Star Wars,
Welcome to-
sound like a retard when you bring up marks like that, or bring up Star Wars. That's gay. Yeah, mud is the future. Yeah, I still see no changes. Cannon brother get a little piece. Yeah, I think Jason moved on from that point. Yeah, probably so to a point, but it's just like he still kind of made his career out of that. My country yearns for freedom. Holy shit. Okay, guess what? Okay, we're going to watch a bad empanada video. I was going to watch this, but okay. Let's go ahead and get through this here. It's going to take a minute to load. 244. Okay, good.
Hello,
Okay.
my name is Hans Heinrich Himmler Goebbels Villalobos III Smith. We moved the Smith to the end recently because English names are more prestigious nowadays. I am an
You're making fun of it because you live in Argentina, right? Reminder that you are an Australian who moved to Argentina. So yeah, this dipshit.
everyday, normal Latin American person from Latin American country X or perhaps even Latin American country Y. I am an authentic representation of the opinions of my people. My people yearn for freedom. We are ruled by a terrible, awful dictator. India. He is ruining our country. You see,
It's so ridiculous with him because he'll try to dab on the gray zone. You should be online left as well. It's just like, well, you can't just be anti-American. You have to be anti-imperialist. Why not just be? Why can't you just be both? You know, where it's like, yeah, you can want to dab on America and say Iran is doing great or whatever. Yeah, okay, cool. But then also do that. It's just fucking ridiculous. Okay.
in the past, our country was rich and prosperous for all the right people. But now everything is simply pure chaos. He even took my father's slaves, enthusiastic and loyal workers, I mean. These days, a normal family like mine can only afford 3 live-in maids and 2 mayordomos. They've simply taxed us too much and are stealing all of our money. The economy is in free fall due to the terrible management of these disgusting, inferior, social
You have to remember is that this guy defended the Hong Kong protests as well and says that it's okay to burn banks and all that type of shit. So guess what? Your opinion means Zippo. But yeah, let's go ahead and hear this bullshit.
socialist, communist, narco traffickers.
Yeah,
One moment.
anti-American imperialist. That works.
That's the stuff. It's actually gotten so bad that my friend Hilda told me that there was an Indian child in her private German school. Ugh! They're simply being handed things they did nothing to earn. Why, recently an Indian family even moved into...
Let me say this. Let me just make sure here. I was about to scream. I almost wanted to, but I realized it's not worth it. Why don't you go back to Australia and fix the problems in your country instead of being in Argentina and being part of the fucking problem? That's what I would tell you, Jagoff. Why don't you fix the problems in your own native country of Australia? Instead of worrying about what goes on in Argentina or what goes on in South America, they can take care of their own fucking business. You take care of your shit, motherfucker. Go ahead.
our street. And thanks to this terrible
HK,
government,
yeah,
we
exactly.
can barely even afford the barbed wire that we need to keep our house safe from them. I mean, what's next? Are they going to seize our 5,000 acres of land? Which were, of course, earned fair and square by my esteemed grandfather, Hans Villalobos Heinrich Himmler Hitler, not a Nazi, the first. We simply have no idea what these madmen will do next. And I assure you that everyone else in my beloved homeland, Latin American country X, feels the same way. Please, Mr. President of the glorious United States of America, come to our aid. Heed our call, for I represent the authentic voice of our people. If you don't send in the troops soon, Indians might even be able to go on holiday to Florida. Imagine Indians in Disney World. Disney World is no place for servants. Nein! It simply cannot be allowed to pass. Send in the troops at once, Mr. President.
fuck Disney World. I'll just tell you that right now. Fuck Disney World. I don't care about Disney. I don't care about any of that bullshit. Fuck Disney World, though. I don't care. All right. Just want to say that.
Hans Himmler Goebbels Villalobos III Smith, the official president of Latin American country X, hereby officially proclaim that the people of our Lebensraum yearn for freedom. Give it to us. Give it to us now!
God damn. I just want to smack people like this in the face. Look, that's all I'm going to say. But I would smack this fool in the face. If he ever got real close to me, I would just slap. Just a backhand, just right there, psh, and be done. I don't think that, like I said, I don't think that's, I'm just going to stop it right there because I'm, okay, let me see here. What was Bo the Fifth Column's recent video? Let's just go ahead and, we're going to go ahead and talk about him twice. We had a short video earlier that got me woken up. Let's talk about,
Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So today we're going to talk about something I talk about a whole lot, only we're going to talk about it in depth from the ground up, and we're going to talk about a hard truth.
Oh, yeah?
The reason we're going to break everything down like this is because I had somebody tell me that, I talk about this all the time, but I've never broken it down all the way. And the only reason they even know what I'm talking
I had no
about
idea.
is because they know where I took the template from. And that's fair. That is where I took it from. And then the hard truth. The hard truth, and this is going to be hard for a lot of people to accept, especially in the United States.
Yeah.
Voting is the least involved and least effective method of civic engagement. It is literally the bare minimum you can do. We cannot be surprised our government behaves the way it does when we really only hold it to account every 2 or 4 years. During that time, they have free reign.
Yeah.
Of course, they're going to behave the way they do. They have no accountability.
Yeah. Once again, so you're with me so far. I'm with you so far, but I know I have to be careful because it's like rock candy or something like, or a jawbreaker with this guy. It's like, oh man, he's got some good sugary stuff that he's saying. He's got some good stuff. He's talking the truth about politics and everything else. But I know that there is a lump of shit at the center of it, and he's going to show it. I know he is. So let's just,
So what's the most you can do?
Yeah.
Be actively involved. Be actively involved in your community. A community network. So what's the theory behind this? We're going to start there. It is a network of people who have committed to making their community better. That is their only overt commitment.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
Now, they may be in it for a specific cause. Like they may be wanting to deal mostly with food security. But when they join this little group, the only real mission statement is to strengthen the community, to make the community better, period. Don't make it too specific because you want to be adaptable.
Yeah.
A network like this can produce immediate change, immediate results. It can reduce reliance on government, therefore making the government less powerful. It can make your community stronger as people tend to rely on each other. It lessens the effects of bad governance because you can deal with things yourself. It also generates power if you want to engage in electoral politics.
This sounds like fascism, doesn't it? Does this sound like fascism, or is it just me? Yeah. Well, I have no idea, Will DeMarco. I have no idea, but I have a feeling.
So, that's a whole lot of stuff. How does it do this? Because the network isn't the government. It can circumvent red tape. It is more flexible because it doesn't have a super defined mission.
So he's talking about localism. This is what it sounds like to me. I mean, I could be completely retarded, which I am, but this sounds like localism to me, which is fine. But
it can confront issues directly.
Not fascism, it's
produce
Maoism.
Immediate results. You want examples? Imagine there is a pothole in the road in front of your house. You can contact the city council and have them contact Public Works and hope.
Nope. Okay, you already lost me right there. You lost me right there because the city that I live in, and I know this is an anecdote, but I want to put it into perspective. The thing is that it usually takes the city where I live about maybe 2 weeks, depending on how long it takes sometimes. Yeah, a pothole is one thing, but let's say it was a city working on, I don't know, water pipe. They dig this big old hole and everything else. You know how long on average I would say it takes a city, from what I've seen? Maybe about 2 weeks to get it filled in. And then they'll get it all filled in with the dirt and everything else. And then they'll just leave a little bit on top to put concrete back on. It takes about 2 weeks. I would rather have something local that can say, call up my local guy and be like, hey, can you come in here and take care of this? Yeah. And of course, I know it doesn't work that way now. I realize that, but it's like, I would rather have that than call up the fucking city council. I don't get that, but yeah. Yeah, read black shirts and red shirt. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah.
Hopefully a requisition gets put in, and eventually, maybe if they find the right address, they will come out and fill it. Or you can walk out there and fill it yourself. Which one is going to get done first? Same thing, a playground. Well, it's rusty and not painted anymore. You can ask the county commission to do something about it, and maybe they'll approve the funds, and maybe eventually they'll get somebody out there. It'll probably take 6 months to a year, or you can walk out there with your sander and some spray paint. The idea of pooling resources.
The thing is, yeah, I don't disagree with that. I'll be honest with you. A lot of the time, I would just shit on his ideas. You know what I'm going to say is that I can agree with this. I can. It's a shocking thing. I usually don't agree with Beau of the Fifth Column, but there is literally 1 in 1,000 videos that I will almost fully agree with what he says. But like I say, I don't know. Maybe I have found a video of Justin King where I can believe him to a point. Yeah. I mean, yeah, the only isn't my follow is autism. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, okay.
To accomplish something that the community feels is important is something everybody watching this is aware of. We all know what GoFundMe is. That's what it is. That's a digital community network. No specific mission, just in theory, helping people achieve their goals. Okay, so what's the makeup of one of these groups? You have your A group. Your A group, those are the people that are most active. Okay, those are the people that are involved in this every day or every week, every month, however you structure it.
I'm getting flashbacks when I was in the Army. I'll put it that way, because there's the A group of people that were the real fast runners. There's the A group, so they'd say, yo, left, right, A group, or and then you get the guys that are kind of a bit chunky, people like me, who could run somewhat well and could get maybe like a 7.5 minute or an 8 minute mile time. And then there was the C group, and they were also the fallouts. It's like, if I was really hauling ass, I could have gone the A group, but I stayed with the B group because I was like, you know what, I don't feel like falling out and make myself look like an idiot. But yeah, that's just a side note.
It normally starts with a group of friends who are kind of close, but not super close, and we'll get to why here in a minute. Co-workers, people from your religious institution, whatever. The ideal number is 12. You can start with less. You can have more. But in my experience...
Is this trying to be like Jesus? Is this dude trying to sound like Jesus now with 12 disciples? Huh?
The ideal number has been 12.
Sounds like some cockshot stuff. Yeah, kind of.
Each one of those 12 people has friends who are going to be supportive of what they're doing, but they're not going to be active every day. Okay?
Yeah.
Those people that you can call on to occasionally assist. That's your B group, your support group.
Yeah. Okay.
This is why it's important for those initial 12, that initial group, not to be super close, because if they are, they're going to share friends. and it's going to cut down the number of people in your support group.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, as the A group becomes more active, people are going to want to join, especially those from the B group.
I'm not raging at this one. There is some realistic things to be said here. I can't be super angry at this. I'm glad I watched this whole thing though. I am glad because I saw the first video. If y'all stuck around for that, I Fed posted very, very hard. I apologize to my audience for that. I did Fed post very, very hard. But now I almost feel like he can redeem himself. Almost. But yeah, go ahead.
They're going to want to become more active when they see it produce results.
Yeah.
It always happens. Eventually, your group grows in size.
Yeah.
When
Okay.
it hits about 18,
18.
normally it organically splits into two groups, naturally. Okay. When that happens more than once, so you have 18 that splits, and then they both grow up to 18 again, and they split again. At this point, you need a C group. And
Okay.
that's your command group, control group. Each A group that exists designates one person.
Does this sound like Vanguardism? Like I say, I mean, there's so many different ideologies this could speak to. It's like this could speak to Marxist-Leninism to a point with Vanguardism. You know, and C group would be the vanguard. This can relate to anarchism or to Maoism. There are a lot of different aspects that you can really understand from this. I mean, well, what do y'all think? Let me look at the chat. What was Fed posting? I already went off on it. You can go ahead and rewind the stream to I think 10 minutes in, and you can see that. But yeah, when we make cryptocurrency non-ANCAP affiliated and purge the dark web, yeah. This guy sounds like he's speaking from personal experience. This, to be specific, yeah. A lot of this is Maoist ideas. Yeah, a lot of Maoism was based on commune rural organization. Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and continue.
To talk to the other designees from the other A groups. This could be as simple as a Facebook chat. But just to keep everybody on the same page. And it also helps everybody share their B groups, those people that can support. It increases the effectiveness of the groups. Now, if you used to live around Fort Bragg and all of this sounds really familiar, yeah, that's where I stole the template. ODA, ODB, and ODC. That's what they are.
I like ODB. Rest in peace to ODB, by the way. I'm sorry. I had to make the joke. I flipped through this a little bit and I heard him say ODA, ODB, ODC. I'm like, it's like old dirty bastard. I'm like, yeah, I like ODB. You know, shimmy, shimmy, ya, shimmy, yay. I'm sorry. Is this guy a communist or a standard progressive? He's an anarchist. Yeah, Wu-Tang. Yeah, Wu-Tang. Black Panthers were heavily influenced by Mao Zedong. Yeah, that's true. I need to read some Mao. Should we read some Mao after this? Let's go ahead and read some Mao. I know, why not? Press 1 if you want me to read some Mao after this, or press 2 if you want me to do something else. I'll go ahead and let y'all put in your votes, and then we'll go from there. Okay.
Next term is going to sound really familiar too. Force multiplication.
Yeah. Green Berets. Yeah, that's the Green Berets.
When you're recruiting, as you
Okay.
get more active and as you become more involved, you're going to specifically identify things that are need special attention within your community. And you're going to want to specifically recruit people that are good at that particular thing. As an example, let's say food insecurity is something that's big in your area. You have a big problem with this. You're probably going to want to actively recruit somebody who works at a food pantry or in a farmer's market.
I will be reading that.
Because
I will
not
be reading
just
that,
you have
Rendondonian.
somebody now that is really familiar with these issues, you have access to their B group. Because whether or not people realize it, everybody has a B group. Everybody has those people that they can call on for support, hopefully. Now, if you can't recruit somebody that you're specifically trying to get, somebody from a food pantry, there's nothing stopping one of your 12, one of your A group, from joining their group, from volunteering at that pantry and gaining access to that network that way. That's what this is really about. What makes it effective is the networking aspect of it. So there's always a way to gain access to the networks that you need, either by recruiting somebody from that network or inserting somebody into it. Okay, so how do you recruit, generally speaking? You could start with social media and look at people who post about problems in the community and see if they want to fix them. A lot of them don't.
Sorry, go ahead.
A lot of them just want to complain about them. But you will find those who will get off the couch and get out there. You can also look to other activist groups and see if you can find people who fit the needs that you have in those and actively recruit them. And then the most overlooked group of people, and this is especially true because every single one of them is in your B group and you don't even think about it. Those people you've helped. As your community network starts working and starts doing things, you help people directly and indirectly. Those people will almost always help you. They're an incredibly important resource that a lot of times people forget about because they look at them as those who need help. Most times, a need for help is temporary. Once you help them with that problem, they can probably help you. And even if they're in need of one form of help, let's say they have a food insecurity issue, we'll stick with that. They may be really good at graphic design and can help you with something else. Just because somebody needs help doesn't mean they're helpless.
Chad, random quotes, yeah.
Now, one important thing to remember is that the people in your group do not have to be 100% ideologically aligned. All they have to commit to is making the community stronger. My group is populated entirely by left-leaning anti-authoritarians and small government conservatives. Two people who you would think would never talk to each other. That's the entirety of my group. And it's worked for a very long time because it sounds weird, but those groups of people are natural allies at the community level. They only become opposition when you get to national level stuff, generally. Okay, now, whether you're in an urban area or a rural area determines a whole lot about how you operate. In a rural area, as an example,
Authoritarianism.
you don't need a name for your group because everybody knows everybody. Out here, our group does not have a name. Okay, and you don't take credit for what you do. You don't have a Facebook page talking about.
Oh boy, I do want to mention this here because I do want to give some commentary, but this kind of reminds me of Harry Truman. I remember I saw this quote a few times. Let me see if I can find it here on my. I want to show y'all right quick. Let me see here. Okay, here we go. This is this kind of sets people back, so I think it is important to say. So just in case, I'm going to go ahead and just read this off to y'all right quick. So socialism is a scare word that they have hurled at every advance the people have made in the last 20 years. Socialism is what they call public power. Socialism is what they call social security. No, that's social democracy. Socialism is what they call farm price supports. Once again, social democracy. Socialism is what they call bank deposit insurance. That's definitely social democracy. Socialism is what they call the growth of free and independent labor organizations. So. Socialism is their name for almost anything that people. Okay, that part is true, but there's a lot of mix there, isn't there? Kim Il-sung said the same thing. Yeah, left-wing anti. Yeah, he worked together with Korean nationalists while being communists. That's why there's so much nationalism. Yeah, they made nationalism socialist. Yeah, the only option for nationalism being fighting the imperialist powers of Korea. Yep, exactly. Socialism is whatever you want it to be. Yeah, that's ridiculous too. It's kind of interesting. I figure I'll mention this right quick here. I mentioned to this guy. Let me see here. Who is it that blocked me on Twitter? Let me see here. Who is it that blocked me recently? He said, ask me about socialism. I'm gonna go ahead and show y'all my mentions right quick. Just go ahead and see. Let me see here. I'll show y'all. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. So we've got here this guy Lee J. Carter, who is in office, I think, in North Carolina. He's a ginger, so take it with that. And he says, ask me about socialism. And I say, okay, can I ask you about Juche instead? And what happens? And I also say, what do you think about Juche Gang in one of his tweets? Blocked. He's afraid of the Juche, yeah. Yeah. The American socialist fears Juche, yeah. The American socialist definitely fears Juche. So definitely. And of course, there's this constant argument, of course, in the United States. Is Juche socialism? Who gives a fuck? But I would say, yes, it is socialism. It's socialism for the Korean people, period. And maybe next time I'll find a quote from, we'll find some Juche stuff and we'll read that at the beginning. But we've already got combat liberalism, and then we have a Enver Hoxha book. So yeah, American socialists fear Juche because they fear the DPRK. Exactly, yeah. It's like, I feel the same way. It's like Juche is just a component of Korean reunification. That's all it is. Juche is just an aspect of Korean unification. And it's like, yeah, and of course, I know I showed the video at the beginning of white Juche. I'm not going to show it again. I mean, I love that video. It's great. I love the autism. When the autism hits just right. But yeah, because they have to cancel their Amazon Prime. Exactly. He fears it. He fears Juche. He fears those ideas. You know what? Screw it. You want me to show it again? Press 1 if you want me to show the white Juche video again. Or press 2 if you don't want me to. Let me make sure. I just want to make sure here. I'll wait for a minute. Because I think I've heard basically the gist of
things that you do. More people will support you. Exert some influence over it for good.
Okay. Yawn. All right. I think, okay. We're going to show it again? Okay. Let's go ahead and show it again. Why not? Let's do it again. Okay. All right. I'm not going to do this over and over, but, it's a good-ass video. I'm sorry. I like it. Here we go. Let's do it. Let's do it. And then we'll read some Mao and some Hoxha, and then we'll close it out.
Sorry, I'm white. Sorry, I'm male. Sorry, I'm white. I'm sorry, I'm male. Why am I a monster?
Okay. Oh boy. Oh my goodness. Oh boy. Oh, Lord have mercy. Oh, once I should have mentioned it, but we saw so we've got Nietzsche right next to Marx. Oh, mwah. Oh, that's glad. I love it. Okay. Oh, and that what? Yeah. Oh, you got the Muppets, yeah. Oh, Lord have mercy. Oh, Lord. Oh, my goodness. Oh. Oh, my goodness. Oh boy, EFF is Black Dude, yeah. Oh boy. Yeah, I probably would too. I probably would get purged too. Yeah. Oh, that's lovely. Oh, I love that. I love that tism. That is some tism right there. I love that autism though. You gotta appreciate that autism. I mean, press 1 for autism. We got press 1 for autism. You know, and that's just some straight on. When the autism hits just right. I mean, I keep repeating this, but golly, that is brilliant. I love that. Oh, that is. Oh, I love that though. Genuinely, that is great. Oh, okay. I'm just being, yeah. Oh boy. Okay, let's read some combat liberalism. You can't go wrong with this. So let's see how to combat liberalism. I have read this before, but this is the first time I'll read it on stream. But why not? Okay. Okay. We stand for active ideological struggle because it is the weapon for ensuring unity within the party and the revolutionary organizations in the interest of our fight. Every communist and revolutionary should take up this weapon. But liberalism rejects ideological struggle and stands for unprincipled peace, thus giving rise to a decadent Philistine attitude. This is kind of like what talking about what Bo the Fifth Column was saying in that first video. It's like, oh, we don't want to have a glorious revolution. Unprincipled peace, thus giving rise to a decadent Philistine attitude and bringing about political degeneration in certain units and individuals in the party and the revolutionary organizations. Liberalism manifests itself in various ways. To let things slide for the sake of peace and friendship when a person has clearly gone wrong, and refrain from a principled argument because he is an old acquaintance, a fellow townsman, a schoolmate, a close friend, a loved one, an old colleague, an old subordinate. This is very true. And I've acted that way as well sometimes, is that sometimes you'll feel sorry for somebody, but it's like even with Caleb Maupin, I agree with him to a point, but it's like I had to go in on him because I'm like, my man, I don't fully agree with what you're saying. You need to be called out on your BS in my view. But yeah. Or to touch the matter lightly instead of going into it thoroughly, so as to keep on good terms. The result is that both the organization and the individual are harmed. This is one type of liberalism. To indulge in irresponsible criticism in private instead of actively putting forward one's suggestions to the organization. To say nothing to people to their faces, but to gossip behind their backs. Yep, you got to tell them up front. That's very true. And once again, I've done some similar stuff. But it's like we don't all have connections that deeply. Yeah. But that's very true. And refrain from principal argument. Yeah. Or to touch on the matter lightly. Okay, sorry. Let things drift if they do not affect one personally, to say as little as possible while knowing perfectly well what is wrong. To be worldly wise and play safe is to seek only to avoid blame. This is a third type. Not to obey orders, but to give pride of place of one's own opinions. To demand special consideration from the organization but to reject its discipline. This is a fourth type. To indulge in personal attacks, pick quarrels. I'll admit, you know what? Once again, I've done this as well to a point. I've done it. And to hell with that. I've done it. Yeah. Vent personal spite or seek revenge instead of entering into an argument and struggling against incorrect views for the sake of unity or progress or getting the work done properly. This is a fifth type. To hear incorrect views while rebutting them, and even to hear counter-revolutionary remarks without reporting them, but instead to take them calmly as if nothing had happened. This is a sixth type. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I knew a guy who read this and said it sounds like cancel culture. Yeah, he was a liberal who believed in socialist democracy and humanism. Oh, boy. Okay. To be among the masses and to fail to conduct propaganda and agitation or speak at meetings or conduct investigations and inquiries among them, and instead to be indifferent to them and show no concern for their well-being, forgetting that one is a communist and behaving as if one were an ordinary non-communist. This is a seventh type. To see someone harming the interests of the masses and yet not feel indignant or dissuade or stop him or reason with him, but to allow him to continue. This is an eighth type. To work half-heartedly without a definite plan or direction, to work perfunctorily and muddle along so long as one remains a monk, one goes on tolling the bell. This is a sixth type, or ninth type. To regard oneself as having rendered great service to the revolution, to pride oneself on being a veteran, to disdain minor assignments while being quite unequal to major tasks, to be slipshod in work and slack in study. This is a 10th type. To be aware of one's own mistakes and yet make no attempt to correct them. Taking a liberal attitude towards oneself. This is an 11th type. That's true. Once again, I have failed at this as well. I'll be honest with you. We could name more, but these are the 11. But these 11 are the principal types. They are all manifested in liberalism. Manifestations of liberalism. Liberalism is extremely harmful in the revolutionary collective. It is a corrosive which eats away unity, undermines cohesion, causes apathy, and creates dissension. It robs revolutionary ranks of compact organization and strict discipline, prevents policies from being carried through, and alienates the party organizations from the masses of which the party leads. It is an extremely bad tendency. Liberalism stems from petty bourgeois selfishness. It places personal interests first and the interests of the revolution second. And this gives rise to ideological, political, and organizational liberalism. People who are liberals look upon the principles of Marxism as abstract dogma. They approve of Marxism, but are not... Yeah, once again, this definitely sounds like Vosh. Okay. They approve of Marxism, but are not prepared to practice it or to practice it in full. They are not prepared to replace their liberalism by Marxism. These people have their Marxism, but they have their liberalism as well. They talk Marxism, but practice liberalism. They apply Marxism to others, but liberalism to themselves. They keep both kinds of goods in stock and find a use for each. This is how the minds of a certain people work. Liberalism is a manifestation of opportunism and conflicts fundamentally with Marxism. It is negative and objectively has the effect of helping the enemy. That is why the enemy welcomes its preservation in our midst. Such being its nature, there should be no place for it in the ranks of the revolution. We must use Marxism, which is positive in spirit, to overcome liberalism, which is negative. A communist should have largest of mind, and he should be staunch and active. And looking upon the interests of the revolution at his very life and subordinating his personal interests to those of the revolution, always and everywhere, he should adhere to principle and wage a tireless struggle against all incorrect ideas and actions so as to consolidate the collective life of the party and strengthen ties between the party and the masses. He should be concerned about the party and the masses than about any private person, and more concerned about others than about himself. Only thus can he be considered a communist. All loyal, honest, active, and upright communists must unite to oppose the liberal tendencies shown by certain people among us and set them on the right path. This is one of the tasks of our ideological front. There we go. There we go. Yep. Liberals are right-wingers, yeah. It's weird when people use the term liberal to describe left-wingers, yeah. Yeah. I knew a guy, yeah, definitely. It is weird when people use the term liberal to describe left-wingers. In my country, liberals are right-wingers, yeah. They want to do the same as American conservatives, lower taxes, and etc. Yeah, it is. It's true. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and click off that. Let's read a little bit of Enver Hoxha. This is The Anglo-American Threat to Albania, Memoirs of the National Liberation War. A little history. Albania, a token for barter for the British Lion, Disraeli, and Bismarck. We are not interested in a few cottages. Zog, I think referring to the Albanian leader Zog, not the, I'm trying to be careful here when I say that. Okay. The open door policy. Chamberlain and the fascist occupation of Albania. The anti-fascist coalition vigilance of the CPA. Intelligence Service prepares its contingents for Albania. Section D and the SOE, Alarm in London, New Plans, Old Aims. Both the imperialist governments of Great Britain of the past centuries and its royal governments in recent years have always been hostile to the Albanian people. The Tories and the different political currents that kept the empire going, and the two parties, the Tory Party and the Labour Party, which have taken turns in running the country more recently, have always regarded Albania as a token for barter in their countless deals with other great powers to maintain the world hegemony of the British Lion. Like many other countries, Albania has not been recognized by any of those different British governments which have safeguarded the domination of British capital over the peoples and the world. As a state and a country which, through innumerable efforts and sacrifices through the centuries, have fought against various invaders to be free and foreign. But on the contrary, the inhabitants of this land of the eagles have been considered a savage, barbarous people without culture, at a time when, despite their small numbers, these people have been indomitable and no less cultured than the people of Scotland or Cornwall. It took a long time before a few publicists, some occasional amateur scholar, or great poet of the Romantic era such as Byron spread a little light among the British people about Albania and the Albanians, about their culture, their strong, generous character, their hospitality and kindness towards friends, as well as about the stern, unyielding fighting spirit in the face of many savage enemies, which has always characterized them. The enslaving imperialist colonial policy of Britain prevailed over many countries and peoples. Britain engaged in 1,001 maneuvers to get the riches of the world into its clutches, in order to fatten the lords and the barons and build up the glory and power of the empire. Britain encroached on other countries, extending its influence like a noxious weed. Under the cloak of science, teams were sent to discover Africa, and wherever they went, the British scientists planted the flag of John Bull. And after them came the lords with their soldiers, who put down the mutiny of the Sepoys and occupied India. People like Kitchener, who exterminated the Boers with, is this guy based in Boerpil? Is he based in Boerpil? Oh my. That's based in Boerpil, isn't it? Oh, Lord have mercy. Here we go. Oh, Lord. Okay. Who exterminated the Boers with fire and steel. Indeed, Lord Beaconsfield, Disraeli, and Gladstone added the title of Empress of India to the other titles of Queen Victoria. This was colonialism, which plundered the fabulous riches of India, the rubies and emeralds of Burma, and the diamonds of South Africa, looted the gold of these countries, and enslaved their people spiritually, economically, and physically. The inhabitants of the countries which came under its yoke, Britain used as cannon fodder for its own aims. In the various colonial wars which Britain waged against other imperialist powers, it put the Indian detachments, the Bengal Lancers, the Afghans, and the other oppressed people in the front of the line to deal with the first blow for the benefit of their masters. Once again, this is kind of like South Park, where he says, okay, we're going to be involved with Operation Darkies. All the black people, yeah. Squad A, you'll be in the front. Squad B, you'll be in the back, yeah. It's like, have you ever heard of the Emancipation Proclamation? I don't listen to hip hop. That's definitely, yeah. I don't think there's such a thing as Hojiism. Yeah. See it as a term. Yeah. Stalinism. Yeah, exactly. Hojiism and Stalinism, those are kind of, yeah, that's just something to try to be edgy and set you apart, yeah. But I don't think that Hoxha was right about Yugoslavia, Soviet Union, and China. That's fair. Let's see what we got here. Yeah. All these colonial wars were fought so that the fields of England could be turned into golf courses for the lords, so that the food for the British Isles and all the raw materials for industry there would come from these colonies and the entire empire, on which, as Kipling, the ardent supporter of British expansion and colonialism, the bard of the empire, and the author of the Jungle Books wrote, "The sun never sets on the British Empire." The law of the jungle was applied in this empire. Everything had to serve it. The British bourgeoisie even used Darwin's scientific theory to justify the monstrous crimes it committed. Distorting this theory, it invented social Darwinism to prove that a bigger and more powerful people should eliminate or assimilate a smaller people. Hence, it supported the reactionary concept that the big fish eats the small. In such conditions and with such methods, Britain insinuated herself everywhere by means of its intelligence service, SIS, discovered oil fields, captured Persia and other countries, countered the ambitions of Tsarist Russia, defended the Ottoman Empire, and when the latter truly became the sick man of the Bosporus, collaborated with Bismarck's Germany at the Congress of Berlin in 1878, attacked the peace treaty of San Stefano, jealously guarded the strategic positions of the Mediterranean, such as the Dardanelles, Suez, and Gibraltar, guarded the Persian Gulf, and made herself the queen of the seas, the protagonist of the gunboat policy. It provoked the Fashoda incident, and many other such things. When Britain had become one of the main colonial powers, when the British dukes were wallowing in gold, and the duchesses could barely support the weight of their diamond necklaces, diamond rings, and diamond tiaras, what importance would they give to Albania and its heroic struggle for freedom and independence? At every crucial moment of our history, especially when the Albanian people were fighting heroically, arms in hand, against the Ottoman Empire, Britain always took the side of Turkey. At the Congress of Berlin, the Prime Minister of Britain, Queen Victoria's favorite, Lord Beaconsfield, when he returned to London from Berlin, made a pompous declaration that he had brought peace with honor, and the Chancellor of Germany, Prince Bismarck, the founder of the Second Reich, did not even deign to listen to the Albanian delegation, which the Albanian League of Prizren had sent to Berlin to demand and defend the rights of our people. At those difficult moments when our long-suffering people had taken up arms in insurrection against the Turks and the Serbian chauvinists, running dogs, in the service of imperialists to oppose the partitioning of our homeland amongst the Serbs, Montenegrins, Turks, and others, to win their autonomy, Bismarck and Disraeli disdainfully told our glorious forebears We are not interested in a few Albanian cottages. Yeah, Stalinism is not, yeah. I do, but he went weird in his last years when he moved closer to the U.S. Yeah, identifying with Hoxism and Stalinism is just edginess. Stalinism is an anti-communist slur to insult. Yeah, Stalinism is not an ideology. Yeah, it's Marxist-Leninism. Even I have to say. I feel like a lot of YouTube Maoists make him look worse than he is. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, we'll read a little bit more and we'll cut it off here pretty soon. But I appreciate everyone that's still here. We'll go ahead and continue reading here. We'll try to find a good stopping point. Okay, later the delegates of our people, Ismail Kamali and Issa Bolletini, went to London and demanded of the Foreign Secretary Edward Grey that Albania should be defended. We shall not allow you to partition Albania. Our great diplomat Ismail Kamali told him, we shall take up arms and fight, as we have always done. The British minister turned a deaf ear. Later at Versailles, Lord George, with his henchmen acting like his predecessors in London, partitioned Albania, and so our parents were, as always, obliged to take up arms to fight the invaders of our country. After the First World War II, the British took the lead in intriguing against our country, meddling in our affairs and infiltrating the spies of our intelligence service into Albania. Then they were unable to change the direction of the Vlora uprising in 1920, which drove the Italian occupation troops into the sea. The British intelligence service, together with IRIS, the Minister of Great Britain in Albania, did everything in his power to weaken the democratic government of Van Noli in 1924 and to secure from it the concession over the oil at Patos, Ardenica, and elsewhere. The self-proclaimed king of the Albanians, Ahmet Zog, who came to power with the aid of imperialists, pursued an open-door policy with Great Britain and the United States of America, as with many other countries, and signed treaties and agreements with them. The aims of these two imperialist states were to get possession of our coastline, which dominates the Straits of Otranto, to transform Albania into a bridgehead for penetration into the Balkans, to exploit our natural riches, etc. Zog granted these states most favored nation status, and has greatly facilitated the penetration of their capital into Albania. He went even further in this direction by granting the Anglo-Persian Oil Company almost a complete monopoly for the exploitation of oil in Albania, and concluding a provisional trade agreement with Britain, which in 1931 was replaced with a navigation and commercial treaty on the basis of reciprocity. Go ahead and skip down a little bit here. A similar situation existed in Zog's relations with the United States of America. Also, he gave legislative endorsement to the letter sent by the Albanian government in June 1922 to the government of the USA, through which the USA has granted most favored nation status. Hence, the practice was given the keys to Albania. This was one of the most disgraceful documents, one of the most dangerous to the independence of our country. For its part, the USA never granted Albania most favored nation rights. 6 months after coming to power, Zog leased 51,000 hectares of land to the Standard Oil Company of New York for 2 years for $30,000 and reduced custom tariffs on American imports. Apart from this, Zog opened the doors to agents of the Anglo-American imperialists. Oh, okay. I think I've kind of reached the point, yeah. Hoxha. How is it pronounced? Yeah, is it Enver Hoxha? How do you pronounce his name? Yeah, I think it's Hoxha. Yeah, Enver Hoxha. But still, I think that there's some very good stuff in there about Albania. In that, like I say, Bunker Gang, definitely Bunker Gang, you know. And of course, Albania. I just got a big brain thought. Let's hear it, Brandonian. Is Hoxha an Albanian Juchist? I think he is. I think you can consider that, yeah. Albania, yeah. I think he is, yeah. Hoxha is an Albanian Juchist. Yeah, I could see that. Could you say that Ceausescu was a Romanian Jucheist, I think there could be an argument for that too. You know, there's a lot to think about with that. Dang, that's something I never thought about before. Yeah, that's true. Hoxhaism with white Juche? It could be. Yeah, Hoxhaism is white. I mean, you know, yeah. Yeah. That is something interesting, though. Huh. That does make a point. Yep. Yeah, they're really dabbing on that dude Zog, aren't they? Yeah. On the day of the invasion of Albania by the Italian black shirts, Mussolini sent a telegram to his colleague in Britain, Chamberlain, in which he wrote that the events in connection with Albania would not affect relations between the two countries and would have no repercussions on the status quo in Europe and the world. This occurred 1 year after the time. Huh. Yeah. There's really beautiful, pale Albanian girl she saw too. Oh, man. Well, go for it, Songun. Go for it. Yeah, I didn't think Albanians wasn't white. Yeah. Yeah. Like I say, I mean, that's, if you can go for it, go for it. I'm not going to sit here and criticize you, but yeah, I mean, if, maybe learn some Albanian and maybe make some, I don't know, try not to be too autistic about it, but yeah, go for it. That's what I say, Yeah. Nothing's thought of Sweden as white. Yeah. Oh boy. I think I've, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh boy. Boy, I mean that's like that's like the whole thing. Are Arabs white or something like that? Yeah, it's just ridiculous. I see Logo Daedalus. I guess he's spurging out in TL.
It's your people facing multiple forms of oppression for me. It's the teeth for me. It's the nationwide obesity for me.
What the hell is this?
It's the constant useless violence for me. It's the police brutality for sport for me. It's the children going to school and shooting up the school and killing their classmates on a constant regular for me. It's the lack of leadership and hundreds of thousands of people dying from the pandemic for me.
Shut up, England. You can say what you want to. Oh, the U.S., kids shoot up the schools. I'd say shut the hell up, Anglos. You got people throwing acid in people's faces. Shut up. Shut up, Britain. We don't care about you, England. Give back the rest of Ireland to Ireland. I mean, give the rest of Ireland back to the Irish people and shut the hell up. We're sick of you, England.
It's the measuring in inches for me.
What type of gay shit is this?
It's calling chips crisps for me. It's your...
Oh, okay. I don't really give a shit. Golly, that's cringe. That's some gay shit. Let me look at the comments right quick. Follow Chairman Xi Jinping if you're on Twitter. I think he's a funny dude. Yeah. Knowing orange means country politism. Exactly. This is just annoying England. Yeah. Damn Anglos. And we just got through reading about Anglos and everything else. And about all that. Yeah. I'd rather get shot than get acid thrown in my face. Exactly. The majority of Ultramen are Scottish, so we'll go to Scotland then. I don't know. Sort it out then. Sort it out, United Kingdom. Sort it out, England. Sort it out, you dumb Anglos. God damn. Can we agree to, at least the Anglos are cringe? I'm sorry. It's like sometimes Anglos can be funny, but ultimately I don't care about Anglos. Now that I've read a little bit more, about the UK screwing over Albania. It's like, man, screw Anglos. Where do Anglos come up with trying to, getting on their high horse, getting on their white horse and start saying, oh, the United States, they shoot, oi, they're going around and shooting each other in schools, and all he had to say is, if you're from Russia, you're from Albania, it's like, yeah, your country fucked us over. So what are you talking about? Damn Anglos. God damn. Anglos ruin everything, don't they? Yeah. I'm forbidden, and I haven't heard of acid here of knife attacks. So, yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Der ewiger Anglo, Yeah. England is I hate England as much as any member of the IRA. That's fair. Like I say, the Anglos anyway, I would rather just have the Anglos just be taken over by Islam. I would rather that be the case, to be honest with you. Press 1 if you think Sharia should be implemented in the UK. Yeah. Because I say at this point, let the UK become a caliphate. UK caliphate all the way. At this point, why not? Go ahead and LARP about, rule Britannia rules the ways. We don't care. Remember when the Anglos ruled half the world? It's like, why not? Just let the UK become a caliphate, and they can rule under Sharia and just do that, inshallah. Now, of course, I know it's probably, the fact is the Anglos will probably fuck it up, and Anglos will probably come in and be like, oh, well, we need to include feminism in our Islam. Can we do that, please? And they'll find a way to fuck it up. But it's like, golly. Greater Celtic Union led by Ireland. Ireland's got its own issues going on, but I'm not going to get into that. Yeah. But I say at this point, though, let the UK just become a caliphate at this point. Why not? That's my take on it. It's just so ridiculous, yeah.
On purpose. So difficult to put on. Like, I can't put it on because I'm using one hand to hold the camera. How do I know that this isn't full of spiders? There is no way for me to check. I was
You're retarded. And I know you're just trying to be funny because you have a rose in your... Okay, yeah. Comedian, actor, writer. Okay, no, then you're an idiot then. Yeah. I don't really care. You're an idiot. Okay. Is on leave after students were offended that a Chinese word he used during the lecture.
Different countries, but their vocal disfluencies of saying that, Two things. One is you have a lot of or ers, and this is culturally specific. So based on your native language, like in China, the common word is that. So in China, it might be nega. So,
I'm sorry. Remember that I can remember that there was a Chinese pop song that used the because ultimately, I should say this for China, nega means like it's like those folks. It's like nigga lao shaza, yeah. Nigga lao shaza, and that's basically saying that, that guy is blind, nigga lao shaza, that old man is blind. That's what they're saying. But it's just, yeah. Let's go ahead and play this one more time. This is just how butthurt Americans do get. Once again, I'm an American, but goddamn, Americans are annoying. We're cringe.
Culturally specific. So based on your native language, like in China, the common word is that. So in China, it might be nega. So there's different words that you'll hear in different countries, but they're vocal disfluencies of saying that, Two things. One is you have a lot of
Love that. I love that. Yeah. Nega means that. Yeah, that one. Exactly. Yeah. That's what it means. Like nega lao shaza. Yeah. It's like that one over there is blind. That's what I was saying. It's like, yeah. Nega lao shaza, or, nega lao chen, like that guy has, has money. Yeah. Chinese friend told me nega means like that one, and the context is saying, I want that one. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like, yeah. It's like saying, but it's like also with Mandarin as well. It's like ta. It's like, ta yin sala. It's like that, yeah, he's dead. That's big what they're saying, yeah. Ta yin sala. Or I don't know, or maybe they it's like, nigga gunye esalo, or yeah. Sorry, I'm getting my languages mixed up. But see, the thing is, once again, this is what happens when you watch too many Shaw Brothers movies. I just got a few Shaw Brothers movies. I've been watching them recently, so of course I've been trying to brush up on my Mandarin, at least trying to understand some of the words, other than things like Shao Fei Hua or Juda, But yeah, it's definitely fascinating to learn about Mandarin. I think that it is interesting though. Mandarin gang, baby. Let's learn some Mandarin, folks. Putonghua. Although Putonghua is technically standard Mandarin, I believe. But like I said, we got on for about 2 hours now. I think I covered what I wanted to cover. I do apologize to Union Iron Ball. I was going to talk about the National Reformation Party, where basically the fascist party, Union Iron Ball. But I listened to it for like 30 seconds. I felt like I was going to go to sleep. So I was like, bruh, I can't listen to it. So apologies to you, Union Iron Ball. I was going to review that video, but it just sounds like DeFash trying to, trying to gain some. Oh shit! What the hell? What the hell is that? Okay, but basically, I was like, okay, me, So apologies to you, Union Iron Ball, for me not reviewing that video. I got very bored of it after less than a minute. So I'm like, no. Yeah, I'm going to work. What do y'all want? Yeah. If wonderful, you mean, yeah. Of course. I mean, the thing is, you know what? I'll tell you what, okay, appreciate it. Okay, but what I will say, though, is about, people will always say, oh, Twitter's a hell site, man. Twitter's so bad. It's like, yeah, Twitter is bad, but it's like, you also have to, once again, maybe I'm kind of cringe for saying it this way, but it's like, the individuals are bad, too. And it's like, if you think it wouldn't be like that on Mastodon, so-called left-wing Twitter, is a left-wing version of Twitter, or it wouldn't be that way on, Gab. Gab is absolutely useless. It's basically just, a Fed post place. Same thing with Telegram. It's like, could you listen to another one of their videos, or I probably could. But yeah, I'll probably see what happens. But yeah, like I say, that's all I had to say. Twitter is what it is. For me, as long as you stay to your little group of friends, that's all you need to know, at least that's my view of it. It's like, I would rather just stick with those tight group of people. And once you go outside of that, then it's going to be cringe, That's my whole thing about it. Yeah. Anyways, now I've really said my piece, but yeah, I can't use Twitter. I get suspended inside of a week. Yeah. Culture Thug is way more entertaining. He has plenty of different beliefs from the NRP, though. Yeah. I think that, Culture Thug, apparently Julie was, became what he is now, partly because of Culture Thug. So, you kind of put that into perspective. I think ultimately, Culture Thug is kind of boomer in a certain way. You know what? I'm going to keep it there because I don't want to piss off the rest of my audience. But you know what? I will say this. The Culture Thug overall seems like he's an all right guy. But meh in general. Anyway, I think I've really said my piece, so I appreciate the folks that have stuck around. I understand that, I went off a little bit on that one video by Justin King because ultimately, I've just become that edgy and everything else, But, okay, I've said my place. I've said my piece, I think, and I think I've said yeah. But I will go ahead and thank everyone, though. So, of course, Will DeMarco, Union Army Ball, Uncle Ho, Normal Libs, please, 1975. Hosia's salute, yep, exactly. Hosia's salute to you as well. Song Gun Policy, Ren Dundonian. I know we had Ole in here, Temujin as well. I was going to say who else. Who else was up in here? I just want to make sure. I know that I missed some folks at the very beginning. Let me make sure here. So, oh, okay. Daggone, we did have a lot. Oh, yeah. But, yeah, Cornholio fan 1995. I know I missed him. I think that's about it there. I know Ole was in here for a little bit. I know everyone's here. Yeah, exactly. Combat Vosh. Exactly. I'm going to find some Vosh clips I think I'm going to find that stream that I was using it from where he was talking about Marx and Lenin, took him out of context saying that we need to fight imperialism. I was like, man, what the hell are you talking about, Fosh? So I'll go ahead and find some more clips of that. At least upload one more. Like I said, shout out to, I'm glad, the first video on YouTube of mine that I uploaded of Vosh, having beef with the Chapo Trap House boys broke the 1,000 view mark. And of course, people are still uploading comments. It's not very, some of the Vosh fans, some of the Voshoids are, Blast Vosh with Katusha rockets. Yeah, exactly. Rastvitali Yablani Krushi Pampwili. You know what? Let me go ahead and sing this, and then I'm going to do this instead of the outro. How about that? I'll go ahead and sing a bit of I'll sing a bit of Katusha. You want me to do that? I don't care. I'm going to do it anyway. Rastvitali Yablani Krushi Pampwili Tumanya Datakoi Vui Hadila na pare Katusha na Visoy Paregna Akritoy Vui Hadila Beznu Zavadila Prastepno Gochisbuka Ola Pratago Pratago Kotoro Lubila Pratago Chipisma Beregla Vui Hadila Pesnu Zavadila Pustom Zem And okay, we'll go ahead and do the last little bit there once again. But yeah, Rastvitali Yablani Krushi Pampwili Tumanya Narekoi Vui Hadila na Katusha na Visoy Barigna Akrutoy. Okay, and we're just gonna go ahead and cut it there. I'm just listening to Swallowing Dust, but this is good. Yeah. All right. I will keep it there, though. I hope y'all have a good day and a good night. And we're going to go ahead and we got to, as they say, we got to bang. We got to bang on those lips. I remember hearing from this pro-black guy. He's like, we got to bang on that beast every day. That's true. We got to bang on that beast, but you got to bang on those lips like Vosh. Bang on those, on those folks that try to take you off the, on a different path and try to take you towards the, another group. Bang on that beast. And with that, I'm going to keep it there. Y'all have a good one and goodbye.